Hi, everyone. Welcome to ClearPitch, Clearco's data-driven pitch competition, hosted in collaboration with select partners in our ecosystem. Today's ClearPitch is in partnership with Omnisend and Affirm. And we are coming live to you across multiple platforms today, so we'll give people a few seconds to join. I'm coming live to you from my family room here in Toronto. My name is Megan Tanner. I'm the Global Director of Platform Partnerships at Clearco, and I'll be your moderator today. Over the next hour, we're going to hear from three very exciting direct-to-consumer e-commerce founders who have been selected as finalists to pitch their business based on innovation in their respective verticals and excellence in online performance. These awesome finalists are Chrissy Smith and Mike Turner, the co-founder of Bird & Blend Tea. Bird & Blend Tea Co. are the UK's leading tea mixologists, retailing their unique blends via 13 retail stores, a global e-commerce site, and 200 wholesale partners. They're on a mission to spread happiness and reimagine tea. We also have Mikey Adut. He's the co-founder of Habit Nest. Habit Nest is your home for building new habits with their line of inspiring guided journals on many topics, including building morning routines, a gratitude practice, meditation, and fitness. And having sold over 500,000 copies of their journals to date, Habit Nest is now expanding to building a mobile application to accompany their physical printed books and to capture an entirely new market. And finally, we have Kimberly Allardyce. She is the CEO of Shire City Herbals. In 2010, Shire City Herbals began handcrafting fire cider in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. 10 years later, the brand has expanded to include new flavors and a fresh look. Shire City Herbals is committed to supporting personal wellness journeys with handcrafted ACV-based wellness tonics made with 100% certified organic, whole, and raw superfoods. So as you can see, we have a bit of a wellness theme happening here today. And if anything, that the last year and a half has taught us is that wellness is a critically important industry and important to take care of ourselves. So a very, very warm welcome to all of our finalists. And now let's talk about the prize package that they will be competing for today, which is worth upwards of $75,000 in value, including $30,000 in cash to put towards their business growth and a variety of additional prizes to help them grow and scale their businesses. We have an all-star lineup of judges with us today to help select our winner, including our very own Michelle Romino, who's the president and co-founder of Clearco and a dragon on Dragon's Den. Now I'm going to invite each judge to introduce themselves and their company. And Sylvia, we'll start with you.
Hello, everybody. I am Sylvia Martincevic, Chief Commercial Officer of Affirm, and I am so incredibly excited to be here today. Thank you, Michelle, and thank you for Clearco for having me. Affirm is a payment method and an alternative to credit cards. We're a fintech based in San Francisco. You can find us at the point of sale of some of the largest retailers on the planet, from Walmart and Target. And also we work with over 100,000 small startups, entrepreneurs on Shopify. Prior to Affirm, I spent a decade investing. And some of that time I spent investing in women and minority-owned companies. And when I was invited today to join Clearco, this is one of my favorite meetings I've had this whole year. And of course, to be here with the dragon herself, Michelle, it's wonderful to be here. And to our founders, let your passion shine through and have fun.
Thank you so much, Sylvia. We are so excited to have you here with us. Next, I'm going to bring in Jamie Sutton from Omnisend.
Hey, everybody. I am Jamie Sutton, the GM of the US for Omnisend. We're an omni-channel marketing automation platform with 70,000 merchants across Shopify, BigCommerce, and API platforms. We're super excited to be here. We're very firm believers in the entrepreneurial spirit, and we're happy to have Clearco inviting us. And thanks to Michelle and Megan, thanks for emceeing this. But we're very happy to see these pitches today.
Thanks so much, Jamie. We're excited to have you as well. And finally, last but certainly not least, we have Michelle Romino.
Hi there. It's great to see everyone. I've been a serial entrepreneur my whole life. Was the founder we built ClearCo for. No one would give me capital for the first 5 years I was running my e-commerce company, and I hopefully completely understand some of the struggles that takes. I was lucky enough to join the cast of Dragon's Den when I was 28 years old and saw that there was probably a better way to provide access to capital, which wasn't taking equity, which would be extremely expensive. I now say that our seed investors at ClearCo have made 350 times their money and they're still going. So that was very, very expensive decision that we made, and that there was a way to do this on a revenue share, which was much better for founders. And today we've deployed more than $2.5 billion to over 6,000 different companies. And, we're building products every day to help founders win because we think the world is a better place when we can build more companies. I'm thrilled to be here with Sylvia. Sylvia and I actually crazily know each other because we were both at Groupon previously, and so nice to meet you, Jamie. But I'm very excited to hear the pitches today.
Thanks so much, Michelle. So as I said, an all-star lineup, some pretty incredible backgrounds there. All right, let's move into the moment we've all been waiting for. We are going to ask our founders, our finalists, to pitch. This is how it's all going to work. Each finalist will have 10 minutes to pitch why they should be the winner of the grand prize, followed by a 5-minute Q&A from our judges. And first, we're going to welcome Chrissy Smith and Mike Turner. They are the co-founders at Bird and Blend Tea. Sorry about that, Chrissy. I will hand it over to you.
Okay, hello everybody. My name is Chrissy Smith.
And I'm Mike Turner, and thank you very much for having us. We're really excited to be here. It's actually evening here in the UK, but good afternoon to all of you guys.
So we are the co-founders of Bird and Blend Tea Company. We are the UK's leading tea mixologists. We're based in Brighton on the south coast of England, usually sunny, but we are a global brand. We are in the tea blending business. We create the tastiest teas you will ever taste, I promise. And we have a core focus on innovation, fun, and next level customer experience. Now, our mission statement is to spread happiness and reimagine tea. We do the former of those, the spreading happiness, through our retail high street stores, our online global e-commerce website, and through our partners as well. And we do the latter, the reimagining tea part, by ensuring that we remain the trailblazers of the tea industry. So I still create every single one of our products, now with a small team around me. They're packed in-house by us. We have over 200 tea blends. Some of my favorites are blue raspberry, which you can see on the screen now, which is our color changing tea. We've also got rhubarb and custard. And we've got lots of other things as well, like tea beers, the world's largest selection of flavored matcha. If you can think about it or you can't think of it, we've probably done it. So I know the usual pitch style is to give you a really polished, like elevator pitch. So I'm probably supposed to tell you about the fact that we started on £5,000 savings, and we're now a £7 million business. I'm definitely supposed to tell you about the fact it was just the two of us and the dog to start with, and that we're now 150 people across the team, and also that we have a crowdfunding campaign live at the moment to accelerate our growth, and is 255% overfunding. But I'm going to take a little bit of a risk and actually tell you a little bit about the early days and show you a video, behind the scenes footage, which we filmed in our first year. On a video camera, believe it or not, because there weren't really smartphones 9 years ago.
Was it digital?
Yeah, and that's because stories are at the heart of everything that we do. And actually, we passionately believe that stories are at the heart of all business. Products, transactions, whatever you're talking about, it's all about stories. And our story starts with the question we get asked the most, which is, why did you start a business? And the answer to that is that we passionately believe that we could do it in a better way. So we jotted this down, this why, on the back of a tacky notebook, sat in a pub in a Canadian ski town where we'd escaped to be ski bums because we didn't know what to do after uni. We didn't know what we wanted to do, but we knew what we didn't want to do. And that was be in a rubbish job where we didn't understand why we were working and what we were working on. We didn't know it at the time, but this idea of starting with the why were the foundations which have ensured that we've not only survived startup years, which you're seeing on the screen now, but thrived. Now, these were the years of sleeping on the sofa because our bedroom was full of tea. They were the years at the freezing cold markets, literally doing the market research. Now, that meant that we put the hours in and we really understood our customers. We tested it out, which fast forward to the present day, which you're going to see in a minute, stood us in really, really great foundations to now, 9 years later, we have a multi-site, truly omni-channel business model with a genuine, authentic personal service. So whether you come into our stores and you experience the magical world of tea, you have a chat with one of our team over a cuppa, or you learn about matcha, or you get a demo, or you do a workshop and become a tea taster, or whether you receive a parcel in the post where our online fulfillment team members still handwrite every note and choose custom samples so that you get personalized service, or whether you talk to one of our team on our social media channels, which actually it's mostly just cat gifs and memes, if I'm honest, but they do education and some great service on there too. And that means that we have this incredible community of fans. Now, you can see on the screen now there are some information about our fans. Now, our growth to date has been driven by this highly active community of fans who love the business and they love the business's story. The reason that's so valuable is because commercially, we have love mark levels of attachment to our brand and way above industry standard retention rates. Our marketing and our growth strategy going forward is therefore all about getting people in at that top of funnel, exposing our brand to as many people as we can digitally to get them through the online checkout, because we know that as soon as they're on the bus, they're staying for the whole journey. Don't just take my word for it. You can check out any of the reviews on any of our channels. We have some of the highest standards in the industry and we're super proud. And I'm just going to read one for you now. Burn and Blend is fantastic. No matter if you're talking about the tea or the service. When I first tasted their tea, it was like ... This is not just any tea, it was outstanding, lots of exclamation marks. Then I started to order it online because there were no shops in my area and the level of care and attention to detail is outstanding. It's like Christmas whenever I receive my Burn and Blend parcel. I'm so looking forward to visiting one of their stores at some point. And I didn't have to sift through to find that review, it was one of the top ones, so please do check them out for yourself. Now, this slide is just to prove to you that I have actually done some market research, that we do know our market. Obviously, the tea industry is huge, but we are in the growth areas. The flavoured black teas, the green teas, the blended teas, that's our USP, that's the growth area of the market. The holistic side, where usually in the past, you could have just only really found herbal teas in the health food store. It's that hippie vegan type tea. It's totally shifted now. People expect you to have a wide range to suit their lifestyle needs. We have over 200 teas in our collection and we actually deliver on taste. We have some of the top great taste awards in the country and the teas actually taste as good as they smell. And last but not least, the biggest growth age bracket is the millennials, and we are quite a trendy tea company, and although I hate that word, and we really hit that market where they're stepping away from alcohol and they're actually really interested in loose leaf tea. Last slide from me is our competitor research. I mean, hopefully I've proven to you that our product has some awesome USPs, huge range, diverse ingredients, something for everyone. We're eco-conscious. We've got the story. It actually tastes great. We don't use artificial flavourings. And unlike North American markets, we don't have competitors in the UK on the high street like David's Tea and Tavarna, but we do compete with them online and our service is absolutely comparable. Our postage and our delivery rates are better actually, so we can compete. And really our brand is an experienced brand with tea as a souvenir, and there isn't a competitor out there that can compete with our community engagement levels. So that's the heart. I'm going to pass to Mike for the stats.
So I'm moving on to the operations and management, or how we can deliver on the plans that we have. The first thing to say is that we're set up to scale. As Chrissy mentioned, we started from a bedroom to I'm sitting in the foyer in the factory shop of our fairly new warehouse. I've only been here a couple of months. So we have the capacity here to take us up to and beyond a 15 to 20 million pound turnover. And we're currently investing in a new tech stack, so we have the systems that are also up to that challenge, and that goes live in just a couple of weeks, which is very exciting. In terms of supply chain, our supply chain is de-risked and it's scalable at all levels. We have dual supply on all of the key lines, so that makes sure there's no short-term interruptions. We have control over the final stages by keeping them in-house. Actually, just behind there, which I realise as I say that. So that gives us a level of control there. And we know that supply chain works because over the last 2 years, as global supply chains have crashed and been a nightmare for a lot of businesses, we've had only 2 stock outages, both of which were fairly minor. And for a business with our level of SKUs is a huge achievement, which brings us on to management. We have the management here to back it up. We're led by the 2 of us as founders and then have 4 supporting directors. Now, some of them have experience from elsewhere. We have the ex-head of retail at Lush. We have the ex-head of marketing at Trusted House Sitters, strong online and offline brands. Advising Chrissy and I, we have a core group of investors who have expertise in various areas. And then below the directors, we have a strong, passionate team in key positions. It's a combination of people who have grown with us and know the business like the back of their hands, as well as external experienced hires. We have some of the best retail managers in the business as well, we think. Of course, our biggest asset across the whole business are amazing people who are working with our customers day in, day out, and that's reflected in reviews like the one that Chrissy read out. And our roadmap over the next few years, we have mapped out where we think we need to bring in experience, but we also have trainee manager programs in place, development schemes in place to try and elevate internal candidates. Moving on to the finances, our focus has always been on growing the brand. So it's right that we leave the finances to the end. They're what makes everything work, but they're not why we do everything. As you can see on the screen, we're profitable, we're also cash flow positive, but because we focused on growth, we've sat around break even. But we know that if we wanted to switch to profit maximizing, we could quickly do this. We sell our own branded product. Pricing wise, we're not the most expensive, but we are at the premium end of the market and we work with strong margins. Our revenue streams are diversified and they're all under our control, but they feed into and accelerate each other really well. Online is the biggest part of our business by revenue. That's followed by our stores, and then finally wholesale and other areas making up a smaller percentage. Now, whilst retail and wholesale are smaller, and some would say a little more risky, they do more than make up for it in the marketing they do for the wider business. Now, in terms of marketing, we've grown to where we are now with almost no marketing spend. We've grown through word of mouth and through our stores. We've only really started spending last year when we needed to pivot the business due to 13 stores closing, and we saw 143% growth online. We're on track to grow another 30% online this year. So we know that that wasn't just temporary COVID bounce, and we have been able to deliver through the marketing. Our marketing split roughly between kind of retention and campaigns, which we think we're about the best out there on, and on acquisition, which we're only just starting to ramp up in a digital way now. So on that, our CAC payback has always been within that first order. We've been able to create passionate fans with strong lifetime value. So we know the space for us to increase our cost of acquisition and still remain profitable. And our plans are to grow by supercharging our marketing, continuing to open 4 new stores every year. And to illustrate the supercharge, our marketing spend is budgeted to go from practically nothing recently up to over $1 million in the next couple of years. Finally, on overheads, we've grown the business by bootstrapping, as you saw, which has made the business very lean, and we have a culture that avoids waste. Everything we spend, we expect to see a return on, whether that's commercially or by improving the business and its impact, and we expect to see that very quickly. Our planned year-on-year increases that you can see on the screen are actually lower than our historic growth rates. So we have confidence that they're not just achievable, but we should be able to beat them. And we're currently raising funds to support that growth. We're going to be investing in our digital experience, in opening more stores, in hiring to key positions, and increasing our working capital. And that'll support our 3-year plan up to year 24. We're expecting to be turning over close to 15 million. And I'm just about to run over, so that is perfect timing for me to jump on to ask whether you have any questions for us at all.
And breathe.
And breathe. I can see the clock in the corner ticking away.
Chrissy, Mike, thank you so much. You had me at color changing tea, but I know our judges would love to learn more about your business. So let's jump into the Q&A, and we are going to start with Michelle.
Okay. Well, first of all, awesome. I am currently in London. I went to school in Brighton, believe it or not. I was on the board of Whistler, which I think is the Canadian ski resort you were at. And I am a tea lover. So congratulations. I have lots of commonalities with your business, and you guys have made it really far self-funding it. So congratulations. I have a couple quick questions. The first is, how has omnichannel done for you in the last year with all the store closures? I mean, how did you see the online business grow? Do you still have as much confidence in opening retail stores? How are you thinking about that? Because that was a big shift for many of our business. Totally understand your product is experimental, but how are you thinking about that?
Yeah, I mean, I keep saying this, and I probably shouldn't, but we've actually found COVID like a really interesting period of time to be in business, because it's challenged everything that we knew, and it's challenged our customer journey and our acquisition. But going into COVID, it was predominantly we acquired through the stores, and then they became online customers. So stores were very much a marketing spent, really.
Yeah,
They had the great
totally.
experience. We serve them online. We make the profit online. Over COVID, we were a really great place because we were omni-channel, that we were able to still trade, or stores closed. So we saw this massive influx of brand new digital customers that had only ever interacted with us online, and shifted our business to be, well over the 50% online. And that has been brilliant and challenged us, and actually really good for the bottom line as well. And we've been planning for growth on keeping that split between the online and the retail heavily in the digital sphere since then. So yeah, the growth plans very much are about investing in digital.
It's really cool. Yeah.
A little bit onto that, but I mentioned us upgrading our tech stack. So we're also linking the data between our stores and online, so that we can be far more clever in our marketing going forwards.
That's very cool. And then my second question is, do you guys have any plans to go international?
We'd love to. We were exploring
Well, you
partnering.
mean like international on high street, because we do ship all over the
Oh, we
world.
ship all over the world, yeah, and 10% of our customer base is in North America. But we were talking last year about partnering with a larger e-commerce brand to use their facilities out in the US and to be able to do things there, and perhaps look at some pop-up shops. Chrissy and I both love Canada. We kind of would have liked to have started a business out there, but our visas didn't allow us to. So I think to pop over
Canada's
there.
lost. Cool. That's all for me. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. You'll have to visit one of the stores whilst you're in London.
All right. Michelle illustrating her love of tea by actually drinking a cup of tea while asking the questions. Let's hand things over to Jamie.
Chrissy, Mike, great presentation. Very energetic as well. My biggest question, I don't know a lot of your competitors, so I did look through your brief before we got on, and you highlighted kind of some of, and I couldn't quite tell if you were positioning them as strengths versus weaknesses across your competitor grid. But if you had to like name one of your biggest boulders that you feel like that you guys have, where there may be a competitive advantage, would that be commercial distribution? Would it be collaborative partnerships? Would it be international distribution from a retail perspective? How do you guys look at that?
I would say that it's our customer experience, which shouldn't be a unique selling point. And any of our competitors can walk into our shops. It's not hard to copy. But customer experience in the UK is famously bad, and we are able to outperform them, and that is why customers stay with us, and why we have such lifetime value. And it puts us in a really nice position that we have these big players. T2 is owned by Unilever, Whittard is owned by private equity. They're pouring money into it. They market, they encourage customers to spend more on tea. They then walk past one of our stores, we give them a sample, we smile at them, they leave with a smile, and they stay with us because we've managed to attach onto them. So it's probably not a technical answer. We do have advantage in that we create blends. The Tate in London, which is a very famous gallery, we've just done a blend alongside one of their features and this sort of thing. So we can do clever, innovative things. But I would say the thing which keeps us separate is this obsessive focus on making our customers feel warm and smile.
Great, I love it. Thanks so much. I want to leave time for Sylvia to get her question.
Cheers, Jenny.
Mike and Chrissy, thank you so much for showing us your founder story, going from 5K to business that's now £7 million plus and growing. Very inspiring stuff. I spent a long time living in London myself, so I know that you are in UK in a very, very competitive market. And so I wanted to ask questions related to customer growth. You said that the main priority right now is growing top of funnel. So could you speak a little bit about that? Do you have specific target customers that you're going after? And what are different strategies you're going to be using to growing top of funnel?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've not really done too much of that top of funnel before. We've been focusing on growing a stable and decent platform as founders, learning as we go along. And luckily, well, not luckily, we worked hard at it. Our customers were doing all of our marketing for us and word of mouth. So up until 2 years ago, all of our data was, how did you hear about us? It was either I went into a store or a friend told me about it. So we were like, right, well, we need to keep opening stores, but let's see if we can open stores in areas where more people hit. So we don't have to be on every high street, but we should be in the places that have lots of tourists, international tourists as well, students passing, people come there for a destination. So we changed our retail strategy to literally have more people walking past the storefront. Then on the word of mouth, we're investing in tech, to both in terms of the data that Mike mentioned, but also in terms of the service side, to encourage referral and word of mouth, to make sure that more people are being referred to. And then we have also recruited 2 senior hires over on the marketing side who have experience in the top of funnel channels. So, I've always led the marketing team. I'm not a trained marketeer. I'm just passionate about my product. So we had taken steps to recruit people in, and they're now exploring things like TV, like trying to land us. And we actually did some work on a sort of documentary series to get sort of TV time going, and looking at the sort of really big paid media spend and how we can best use that. Press, we've invested heavily in an SEO heavy and content based PR agency. So sort of spending sensibly, hopefully, on that top of funnel
alongside
stuff.
pay-per-click and
All of that, yeah, pay-per-click and stuff as well, yeah.
That's an awful expect.
Very good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chrissy and Mike. Awesome work on the pitch. And I will be keeping my eyes open for a Bird and Blend coming to Toronto soon.
Thank you.
All right, we are going to move away from happiness via tea and into happiness via journaling. Please help me welcome Mikey Adut, the co-founder of Habit Nest. Mikey, take it away.
Awesome. Hi, guys. So my name is Mikey, and my company's Habit Nest. And guys, building habits is incredibly hard. There's statistics like this out there, or 92% of self-development goals aren't met, but it's something we all know and struggle with. Like, we take steps forward and we make progress and end up, it's really difficult for us to stay consistent over time. And I dealt with this myself, where growing up, I was 200 plus pounds. I was arguably the cutest muffin you've ever seen, but I had such messed up habits. I'd play video games for 12 hours a day. I slept at 4 a.m. for like 5 years straight. And it took me years to overcome this. When I personally turned, when I turned 23, I knew I had to make a really big change in my life. And I went to war with my own self and habits to try to change and grow from them. And it took me so much. I struggled so much. And it took years of time to get to where I am now, where I feel as if I'm a disciplined monster and I can accomplish so many things that will be better for my life. And it really pissed me off that there was no system to help guide people through this process. It was so frustrating. And that's what I set out with my co-founders to build, which is a system for building better habits that makes things easy and guides you through the entire process. So we started by creating guided journals, and we began with our morning sidekick journal, and it did very well, thankfully. And we've since expanded to about 12 other books now, covering like nutrition, meditation, gratitude, sleep and evening routine, managing your sleep time. And the way they work is, first, we try to find the best information in the world. So pulling things from thought leaders, scientific studies, published authors, and curating the content, cutting the fluff to create a very no BS approach, and making it feel as if you're being guided with your best friend throughout this process to build new habits that you know will be better for you, that you're personally excited to do, and to take some of the guesswork out of that process. And since launching, we've sold over 500,000 journals to date. We've completely bootstrapped this whole process, and we haven't raised any funding, and we've been profitable every year, and have just been reinvesting in our growth to create new journals and create new products. So we were featured on The View, which was really exciting. And I pitched a partnership to Gary Vee, who ended up shouting us out at the end of his new book. And we're really excited for where we're going with this. just in general, the health and wellness market, like guys, we know it's a very big space. It's 4.2 trillion. It's growing very quickly. It's invested in constantly, but really looking at the target customer is an important thing to note here. So it's obviously a big range because so many of us want to improve in our own lives, but mainly our products so far have been journals, which has attracted way more of a female market, like primarily moms for us, like 30 to 40, 50, like really kills it in that range. But there's this whole other world that we haven't been able to target yet. And that's where we're building a new leg of our company right now, which is our mobile app. And it's set to launch later this year. And we've basically taken the entire process that we have in our journals for each of these different habits and put it in a guided, like mobile fashion. And it's very easy to use. And it's going to, I think, add a lot of additional context for people where we're not limited to like one page in a book, and we can flush out more difficult concepts or use multimedia like video. So both of those parts of our business, physical and digital, are going to be pushing and standing on their own to help grow and to help grow our company. So going through some of our financials, our journals sell for roughly $30 each. I don't know if you guys can see my actual video, but I'm holding some up here and to give you guys a visual. The total cost for us to ship to customers about $600 to $650. And then we see a lot of reorders from people because typically when someone's interested in wellness or one specific habit, like morning routines, then they tend to have interest in other ones as well, like gratitude or meditation or managing their screen time. So a huge part of our business in hitting growth and scale has been our marketing, and paid ads have just been the main way that we've scaled everything with. We've spent $3 million to date on paid advertising, mostly on Facebook and Instagram. It's about a $12 acquisition cost. And we also do some on Amazon, YouTube, Google. But it's very easy for us to scale with paid ads, and we're really excited to see what we can do with our mobile app too. So 2021 was way more of an R&D year for us. We put about $500K into our app that we're building. And we expect to see a lot of growth in the coming year. In 2022, we're expecting to hit about $2 million profit and $6 million revenue. And 2023, about 10 million in revenue and 4.5 profit. But I think everyone says these are conservative estimates, but hopefully we can really deliver and hit scale. And so looking at some of our competition, focusing on the physical side, there's a lot of other like journals and planners, but they tend to pick one vertical and only focus on those. Like Best Self Co is a great company. They have more on like the productivity niche. 5-Minute Journal focuses on gratitude. But no one's been able to scale like we have in terms of finding different topics and touching many different areas and putting our approach that's worked with so many of our products. On the digital app side, there's apps like The Fabulous, but there's the space is just huge with habit building, and there's a lot of apps that just serve as a like a spreadsheet where you kind of like check, did you do this today? Did you not? But really our competitive advantage amongst all of this, there's a couple, but our number one is the quality of our content and our approach. We emphasize a lot on removing guilt from the process, on what do you do on that day where you wake up and you really don't feel like building a habit or doing this, or you come home and you're exhausted from work and all you want to do is just chill. Excuse me. Is just chill and relax. How do you stay consistent there? And we put so much of our emphasis there on like really engaging and genuine content to push you to stay consistent with something that will be better for you, that you know will improve your life. And another thing I'm very proud of is how involved we are with our customers. I've personally emailed 6,000 of our customers, and I talk to them every day, basically, because I really want to know like what's working, what's actually effective, what do people use from our products, and how can we improve them. So it's like a self-improving algorithm of what's the most effective for people. And we really empower our users because all of our journeys are different. Like what's useful for me is not what's useful for you. And we try to touch on the core ideas that you can pull from and experiment with. So I'm really proud of all of our products and what our team has built. Moving on to our team. So we have 3 co-founders, myself, who I work more in the operations of things. And we have Amir, who's a marketing genius. He's grown his like family's juice franchise to like 15 different stores, retail stores, and he's led our paid ad growth. Ari I love Ari. He's been meditating every day. He's like a mindful buff monk who's a ball of muscle, but wakes up at 4 a.m. and every day he's insane. And he leads a lot of our content writing. And then we have our incredible team. Lindsay leads our entire customer service lead. We call her our chief happiness officer. Jamie's our head of design, and Aston helps us create content and expand to new areas of creating new products to cover new topics. So that's about it, guys. Sorry, I was a little nervous here, but I'm very proud of our company.
Mikey, you did such a great job. Thank you so much. Your nervousness did not shine through. That was awesome. I love the concept and also love the passion you have for your team. I'm now dying to meet the monk mindfulness buff guy. Listen, I know our judges have questions for you. So this time we're going to kick things off with Jamie, okay?
Yeah.
Thanks. Great presentation. And yeah, nothing to be nervous about. I think you did a great job. And I think your passion for what you're doing really comes through on the pitch. I think my biggest question here is moving from tangible goods to a digital product, and how you're preparing for that. I know the acquisition strategy will be completely different. I'm assuming you've probably done some research. If you've got existing merchants, how many will actually convert to a digital or subscription product? But I'd love to hear kind of how you're looking at that as a challenge, changing mediums like that.
Yeah, I mean, we got a good taste of it. We sent 1 email out to our newsletter and we got 2,000 beta signups. So a very good sign that there's like strong, like people have just been asking us for years, like, please make an app. I want this on the go. I want to have, access to things. So it was a lot more calculated and less of like a reach for us. So we feel really confident there. In terms of like growth in marketing is so interesting now. All you need is 1 great ad and you can scale it so well using Instagram and Facebook. So we've created thousands of ads at this point, and we've like found like what resonates with people and what works. And we're going to do the same exact thing with building this up. In terms of the 2 cannibalizing, we're going to push each one separately. And I think there's definitely some overlap there, but I think we'll capture 2. I mean, we've captured 1 market and we're going to push this to capture a separate one. But the LTV on our app is going to be so much better because it's just recurring. Like, so hopefully that helps us have more room for ad spend.
Nice. So I think that kind of answers my second question. Is the digital a companion to the actual physical journal? Do they work with each other, or are these actually bifurcated kind of product offerings?
They're bifurcated and separate.
Okay.
And if someone's really interested, they can get both, but they'll work independently of each other. So it'll be a whole new branch of our business to grow. And we're still growing our physical ones too. Like we've written 4 new books this year. So we're not slowing down on either.
Nice. I could ask a lot more questions, but I want to be respectful of time and let our other judges ask away.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Mikey, thank you for a really great presentation. You said something that I can relate, and I'm sure many others can. You said, I went to war with my habits. All of us do that. We're always at war with our habits. And so I really appreciate
it's so hard. Like, it's not a joke, but it's doable. It really is.
So, as I listened to your progression, here is how I saw your business. You sort of started with the journaling. That was the beginning. That was phase one of the business, but you're clearly now accelerating into phase two. And in this phase two, this is no longer a journaling business. I wrote down, this is a self-improvement coaching technology. That is ultimately what you're doing. And in that space, there is tremendous amount of competition. Many apps that that are out there for all of us, especially with COVID. And so I hear you on the digital marketing and how you can scale that, but you're at the mercy of Google and Facebook, and those acquisition costs, just over the last year have increased massively. And so I would love to hear if you are thinking about partnerships or referrals as a source of user acquisition and getting the app out there as well.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, there's just so many things to talk about, but a big potential in my eyes of building our company also is taking our process of building a new habit or skill and applying it to other huge content creators to put it in a format where you're guided to take action. We pitched that to Gary Vaynerchuk, who has a huge audience, and he was really interested in the idea. And we can do that with a lot of other large names that we've already begun pitching, and putting those in our app would help because they would cross market it as well. And in terms of we haven't pushed any effort yet on referral marketing. We've just stuck to paid ads because we just don't have the infrastructure to oversee that process. And I definitely agree with you. I see it so much, especially with new platforms like TikTok coming up.
Yeah.
There's just so much potential there. Influencers need really good products to push. So we can use funding to help push that forward. But yeah.
I would also encourage you to think about, as you're building the product, as you're building the app, build referral and gamify into the product, right? Because all of us are much more accountable when our friends know that we're trying to, run
100%.
or whatever else. So think about
Sylvia, I'm inviting you to the beta.
Yeah.
You'll see. But yeah, we're adding a lot of posting to pushing to your socials to share, inviting other people and giving incentives to it. All of this is going to be included in our roadmap to help with organic growth also.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, now I am unmuted. Mikey, anyway, great to meet. I'm a big fan of, I think I've read 4 or 5 books on habits. So it's something we're constantly trying to improve, and have actually really enjoyed using a journal myself. So commend you for what you're doing. Can you talk to us just a little bit more? I kind of got your competition slide, but I think I want to understand a little bit product-wise how you're going to differentiate. I think I was like everyone else on New Year's, where I went into habit tracking apps. I downloaded 5 of them. I used half of them. It's product-wise, this has to be really tight because it's just a very competitive market. So maybe just take me through some of your ideas there.
Yeah. So can I give you a quick kind of visual of how our products work for the most part? Okay. So we walk people through a guided day-by-day process, and we include content. So every day is a new idea, and those include tips, challenges, ways to grow within that actual habit specifically. So how to stop snoozing for morning routine, how to get to bed on time when you're exhausted, and stuff to try out, right? And then on the other side, we have tracking that holds you accountable to what you want to do. So for example, you set for the morning routine one, you say what time you want to go to bed at night and what time you want to wake up tomorrow. And then you record what time you actually went to bed, what time you actually woke up, and what you completed in your routine. So it's a mix of learning with accountability. And those two have made a really big difference. We haven't seen many products like it. There's 1 or 2, and I really don't think their execution will match what we have done with our products. It's our I see it in our customers. I hear it. They're like, thank you. We've had people.
No, it's very cool. It's very cool. I get it.
Sorry, I'll stop talking. Go ahead.
No, that's awesome. That's very, very helpful, and totally get that relative to the to-do list kind of accountability structures that I've seen in others.
Yeah, it's way more involved and engaging.
Mikey, thank you so much. Love your passion, and you've got me thinking about some new habits that I both want and need to build into my own life. So I will track down one of your journals.
Thank you. Thanks, Megan.
Thanks. All right. Our last finalist is coming up. Please help me welcome Kim Allardyce, the CEO of Shire City Herbals. Kim, over to you.
Hi, everyone. Great to meet you. My name is Kim Allardyce. I'm the CEO of Shire City Herbals. I'm also a co-owner. We create craft apple cider vinegar wellness tonics. We have been in the business since 2010, so we're entering our second decade. We were one of the front runners in the apple cider vinegar category in terms of being on the ground level, educating people as to why to consume apple cider vinegar. It's definitely now what they would say on trend. So we are, we have the benefit now of a broader range of folks understanding why to consume apple cider vinegar and to incorporate it into their daily rituals and wellness routines. Our flagship product is Fire Cider, which I'll talk a bit more about in the progressing slides. But we are a small family-owned business. We are predominantly female-owned. We are female-led. While we're 10 years old, we are still in startup mode. I've been spending the last 7 months overhauling all of our systems and operations to get us prepared for a seed round fundraise that we're embarking on now. It's kind of a crazy process, but it's very exciting, and we're ready to go. So we use all whole raw ingredients. We're certified organic. We use sustainable sourcing. We do a small batch production. We're family owned, and we are a proven category leader. Our current lineup of products is also shelf stable with a 24-month best by date. So some of the core basics of the company. We have 5-star ratings on our .com as well as on Amazon, and we are currently in about 4,000 locations across the country. So we do have national retail distribution, both through UNFI and KeHE. And we have some very strong retail partnerships that we have developed, even as a very small, outfit. And like my friends at the tea company, our founders also began in their kitchen. They used food grade buckets steeping in their bathtub to start, and then moved into a shared kitchen in the basement of a church. And fast forward years later, we now own our own manufacturing plant. And it really took a lot of vision to see that we were outgrowing our shared space, and we were going to hit a bottleneck there. Because we assumed this space as a very small company and are now, really thriving within it. But it took a couple of years to get on our feet. So taking on that overhead was a risk. And through this process of managing out of stocks and all of the various things that come up when you're constrained on how much you can produce, we have really forged relationships with some of the most amazing retailers out there. And we're really proud of that. So our foundation really began with retail. And I want to note that because our entire business picture is kind of flip-flopped now onto the digital side. So we are still within those retailers, and those are our anchor in terms of our business. But it took some retooling and rejiggering to prepare to play in the digital space. And we embarked on that journey about 4 years ago when I joined the company. So our flagship product, a little bit about what we produce. We make a very potent daily wellness tonic. And what we do is we take a 350-gallon vat of apple cider vinegar. It includes the mother, which is really critical because any form of processing to apple cider vinegar basically removes the probiotic quality of the product. And it takes away most of the wellness characteristics for consuming. So all of the low-hanging fruit of gummies that are, like they're feel-good things to take in your diet, but they aren't necessarily functional. So we take the ACV with the mother. We take oranges, lemons, habanero, ginger, horseradish, turmeric, garlic, black pepper, onion. We chop it up. We stick it in the vat. It sits there for 4 weeks. We press it, remove the solids, and we're left with a very potently infused vinegar base. The final step for 2 of our SKUs is that we blend a raw organic honey in as a finishing touch. The differentiator between the 2 is simply the different types of honey. Wildflower honey we source from the Yucatan Peninsula, and the African bronze honey we source from the Zambezi River region of Africa. In both instances, we're working with supply chains to support indigenous beekeepers. And if you know anything about organic honey, which I assume a lot of people do, it is extremely difficult to certify as organic. So this is why we go international. The indigenous farming practices are more likely to be organic in their modality. And so the organic certification is a bit easier to achieve when using native practices. So we do source those 2 honey varieties from abroad. We have 1 SKU that remains unadulterated. It is just the base infused apple cider vinegar. It's certified vegan. It's very potent and strong. It's also really good for culinary use. So we use only whole raw organic ingredients. We don't use any dilutions, no fillers or unnecessary flavors. Our concoction improves the palatability of ACV. And we do use ethically sourced superfoods, small batch process, and we've really built a community of wellness enthusiasts that are intergenerational. We have some new innovations. We actually just launched our Elderberry Tonic a few weeks ago, and sales for that SKU are currently outpacing some of our fire cider SKUs. It's very exciting to be launching our first non-fire cider product. We are also working on a certified vegan fire cider that is sweetened with New England maple syrup, also sourced locally from a local crafter here. And then we are working on a 2-day cleanse that will launch towards the holiday season. It's a format that's mixing 2 ounces into a 16-ounce glass of water, taken 4 times a day over a 2-day period to help cleanse for the gut and immune system. And then on our product bench, we are working on a ready-to-drink seltzer line. This is a big move for us because ready-to-drink is an entirely different animal. We do have some amazing advisors guiding us through the process, but ultimately closing the round of fundraising will help us fund this venture. And then one additional thing that we've also begun offering is our raw apple cider vinegar with the mother. Some people choose to make their own concoctions, and we would like to provide them with the highest quality products when they choose to do so. In terms of our core products, the fire cider and elderberry tonic, people are taking it as a daily shot. So how they take it, either as a shot or they mix it with seltzer or water or in a cup of hot water to make tea. And then it's also used in salads, cocktails, marinades. The fire cider itself is an amazing stealth ingredient in Bloody Marys. We have a lot of people that use it in barbecues, things of that sort. So salad dressings, of course, it's an easy one, but we have a lot of people that integrate it into their culinary concoctions. The reason why people take our product is immune support. We're very relevant in COVID, which is everybody's trying to figure out kind of how to keep their bodies functioning like a well-oiled machine so that they can more easily fend off anything that's out there at this point that they'll come in contact with. So keeping the immune system healthy and strong, digestive support and gut health is also really critical pain point for people. It's also the center of immune. So keeping your gut healthy helps to create functional systems throughout the body. And then other folks will take ACV for inflammation reduction and reduce the need for other supplements. So a lot of people are taking a wide array of things. This pulls a lot of things into one compact format. Our demographic base is predominantly female, although we do have a good subset of men that are dedicated to our routine, that are following a paleo diet, things of that sort. A lot of CrossFit athletes. We also find a lot of folks who are like in the music industry. We have Broadway shows that have us in their green room, things of that sort. The age range, again, we really serve an intergenerational demographic. It's we have a strong following from 25 and up. And then we do saddle 4 categories within the food and beverage space: digestive support, which is a $40 billion industry; immune support, which is a $16 billion industry; functional beverage 7, and vinegar 4. We have a group of really amazing brands that are helping to grow the category. We do differentiate ourselves by virtue of the fact that we are handmade. We are never diluted. We are small family owned, although perhaps heading in the direction of maybe one day expanding ownership. Along those lines, we are also implementing an employee stock option program as well, which is really cool to give ownership back to our team. So I say that because expanding ownership outside of family is important to also involve the team members that are on the ground level. So these are the differentiators between the current competition within the apple cider vinegar landscape. Bragg's obviously is the front runner. It's a household brand. Some people will either choose to just take apple cider vinegar plain, or they'll make their own concoction with it. And we have basically provided the handcrafted version that people can opt to take. In terms of market share, we are currently carrying 3% market share, second to Bragg's. That bucket of 67% includes vinegars that are not just apple cider vinegar. So it's white wine vinegars, rice wine vinegar, any vinegar that's not balsamic fits in this pie chart. And so in terms of apple cider vinegar brands, we carry 3%, which is the second to Bragg's. This data is relevant from year end 2020. So we're getting to the point where we're going to need to pull updated data, but that was where we sat at that point in time. In terms of category growth, we are holding cadence with the rest of the category. One of the shortcomings of this category, of this data that you're looking at, is that it is pertaining specifically from SPINS data to the apple cider vinegar category and non-balsamic vinegars as a whole. So this is how we're pacing against other vinegars. This doesn't necessarily show how we're pacing against other immune support products. So I just want to point that out because our access to industry data is a bit limited from that regard. And so in terms of accomplishments for this, first 10 years of business, we really bootstrapped the company, but in the last 4 years have started to really grow up our operational systems. We are nationally distributed and carried in 4,000 locations. Our compound annual growth rate is 22%. We grew the direct-to-consumer business from 400,000 to 1 million in over a 12-month time frame. That was indeed 2020. We have, really strong AOVs and return customer rates at $51 and 35% respectively. We did grow our Amazon business from $9,000, that is not a typo, to $650,000 in a 36-month time frame. That was a little bit of a controlled crash landing because nobody had been managing Amazon or even knew what to do with it when I joined. And so we had to really pull out all the stops to get Amazon cleaned up so that we could preserve the integrity of the brand. I think that's one that's really important to highlight because a lot of resellers had just posted our product, created listings. We weren't actively engaging with it. So we didn't have brand management on the platform, which was a very big hindrance to us at that time. That has since been corrected, cleaned up. We are on track to do $1 million on that platform this year. We endured a trademark battle that took, time and attention and finances. We have a very dedicated team and somebody's messaging me. Sorry if that's coming up on your side. We also have a startup mentality. We are now a mature business and we're ready to scale. So we have an international expansion plan and we were having an unprecedentedly large sales year prior to the pandemic and we're doubling down and moving forward. In terms of digital initiatives, we kind of threw this slide together yesterday for this pitch itself. Our direct consumer business is 75%. Our B2B is now 25%. So that used to be completely flip-flopped. We used to sell 80 to 90%. And we are now, we're now seeing that exactly upside down. These are all of our digital initiatives that we are undertaking, and our .com is our strongest margin contribution at 48%. I think I'm running out of time, so I'm just going to pop through here. We do have an amazing team, predominantly female-led. They are the backbone of this company. Part of what we're hoping to do with this funding, should we receive it, is to increase our 9th full-time employee, or we have 9 full-time employees. We were hoping to add our 10th We currently have one person on staff that's part-time that we're hoping to bump up to full-time, and also some investment into some inventory scaffolding for the busy time of our year. We have a great team of advisors, all with a depth of knowledge in various different aspects of the business, everything from HR to beverage business development to venture capital, PR, direct-to-consumer, and growth hack marketing online. Strengths and weaknesses. Is anybody able to tell? I can't see anything on the screen while I'm presenting, so how am I doing on time? Ooh, are you guys there?
Hi, Kim, I'm here. We are running a little bit short on time. If we could move into the questions from the judges, that would be great. But
sure. Let's do that.
We're certainly willing to go over. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I didn't know if I was at my 10 minutes or not, because I can't see anything other than what my screen. Sorry.
Kim, thank you so much for the presentation. It was very interesting to learn about this category. So it seems like really, really solid progress on retail locations, and now you're moving digitally.
Yes.
I would love to hear a little bit more about how you're educating your customers about, you said this supports the immune system. And when you launch a new sort of vertical of sorts, apple cider vinegar as a source of immune support, how do you expect to educate the customers? Are there going to be different campaigns digitally that will help you drive this education? That's one question. And the second one, I saw the return rate of the customer of 35% actually as an opportunity. And so I want to understand, what are you hearing from the customers perhaps that are one and dones? Why aren't they coming back?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. So in terms of educating customers, we try to take a very content-based approach. We also do a lot of in-person demos. So in terms of on the digital platforms, we try to really deliver on content. So there are some limitations as to what we can do as a food and beverage brand that is governed by the FDA. So because every product within our product is a food, we can't make health claims. So we have to do a little bit of fancy footwork around how to articulate that. So it's all within our creative that we develop, collateral that's developed in connection with outside partners. And we are starting to now leverage just newly influencers as well, who can speak on our behalf and say a little bit more than what we can say ourselves. And then in terms of opportunity, we are starting to dig back into consumer insight data, polling our customer base as to, why they're not buying, but what we did do, why they're not coming back if they are part of the subset of people that don't come back. But what we've also done is implemented QR codes on our bottles that are now available. They're basically getting into circulation on all platforms, because we only have data based on the people who are directly on our website. And so what we're hoping to do is capture return rates of people who are shopping in stores, people who are shopping, on Amazon instead of our platform, and trying to roadmap how that all fits together. So, it's not a perfect science yet, but we're working on it.
Got it. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, congrats on what you've built. My question is how you think about new product innovation, given that you've built a category. What's next?
Yeah, so the product bench being our ready-to-drink seltzer line is really what I think is on the front runner for our next innovation. We do have some other tonics that are we're iterating on tonics, but stepping into the ready-to-drink beverage space is the next big move that we have on the horizon.
Awesome, thank you. And I don't know did you give us your revenue numbers?
I did not know. We're at 3 million.
Okay.
And our
3 million of annual revenue in 2021 or in 2020?
Projected 2021, and it's about level with 2020 because of COVID.
Okay.
Rates. Oh, you're on mute.
Oh,
there.
How's that? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, excellent. Thanks for the presentation. I did have to Google a few things during your presentation to get informed.
I hope that's not.
Yeah, just but I thought that was really interesting. you made a statement in there that your highest level of revenue is on the D2C side. That doesn't surprise me at all. What I didn't see from your numbers was kind of what that LTV modeling looks like. And on the recurring revenue, 100,000 in subscription revenue, it seems to me like you've got a product that is absolutely made for, recurring subscription, especially when we start to look at your product workbench and the ready to drink products. What are you doing to move and increase LTV, reinvest in the website to increase retention, and move forward with encouraging better subscription revenue?
Yeah, so we just launched a brand new website. So what you're seeing there is our current site. We did implement a new subscription platform because we built $100,000 on a very wonky system that took people out of Shopify to transact for their subscriptions. So we're hoping to ease the use of, I think convenience is really top of mind for people. They want to be able to push their order back or delay. So functionality of that sort was really important for us to integrate in. We did newly launch that within the last few months. And in terms of retention, I think a lot of it is around surprising and delighting customers and things that can be included in with their subscription, and having it be more of a program that we're in the process of building out versus just their monthly. Amazon does subscribe and save very well, right? Your products arrive very consistently and on time, but there isn't much of an experience around it. So I think our opportunity is to really build out the experience and the program that we offer there to engage a higher number of people to subscribe and retain them.
Excellent.
Kim, thank you so much. I love the seltzer idea, and I love the social responsibility component of the business as well. That really shone through. Okay, so we've got our 3 finalists back on stage, and what is happening right now? The judges are off stage deliberating on our winner. And while we give them a few minutes to decide, I'd like to hear from each of our finalists what this grand prize would mean to you. So what would winning this $75,000 value prize package mean for you? And what would the $30,000 in cash allow you to do for your business? Chrissy and Mike, let's start with you.
Yeah, so it would mean a huge deal. So as we mentioned in our pitch, we're only just now really starting to do performance marketing. So getting marketing support at this point, I know we have come a long way. It seems like it's come a long way. We have come a long way, but that's without doing it. So we're really right at the start of that journey. So getting both the support, and then in terms of the money, I think probably there's a brand advocacy tool, which we would really like to use, our customers would love. But because of the ATVs we sit at, it's very difficult for us to justify the spend on it. And this might support doing that maybe a year earlier than we were planning on doing. So you'd make our customers very happy.
Awesome. Mikey, what about you?
This would be huge for us. This has been such a reinvesting kind of year for us to take our leftover profits and build our app and just grow our team. So it would really help us grow in terms of having more money for marketing, for product development. It would be an enormous help.
Awesome. And Kim, you talked about investing and growing your team. Is there anything else that you would do with that money?
Yeah, we need to invest in more inventory so that we don't run any risks of out of stock for our busy season, which is always Q4. So, we're not VC funded. We're still in startup mode. So every dollar matters, and where we position that dollar is really important to our survival and our vitality.
Absolutely. If you can see me glancing down, it's because I'm tracking the chat that's happening between our judges in the background. How are you guys feeling right now? Nervous? Yeah. Some nerves. Excited? I'm nervous for you. And I know that everyone who's tuning in is super excited for you as well. This has been such an awesome group of finalists. And again, kind of by happy coincidence, like a wellness themed episode of ClearPitch at a time in the world where we all really need to be focusing on these things. So let me take a look. I think we have a winner. I am going to invite our judges back on stage, and Michelle Romino will let us know who is walking away with our grand prize.
Okay, I have unmuted. Well, look, these were incredible pitches. You guys all did awesome. We're so proud of what you have built, being self-funded. The winner today, just given how established their business are, how far they come, is Mike and Chrissy from Birds and Blends Tea. So congratulations, guys.
Thank you so much.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's very cool. Thank you.
Huge
We did
congrats,
have a
guys.
lightning start about 2 minutes ago. We thought, I hope this isn't the prophetic fallacy.
Yeah, we've got a thunderstorm outside, but yeah, we're very happy.
Evening of drama. Amazing.
Congrats. Yeah, I think the growth is super impressive. Great presentation. You guys really know your story and know the why. And to me, that's always kind of a very important marker for me to understand, why the founders are going to succeed.
Thank you. Felt like I took a bit of a risk there taking you on a story, so I'm glad that paid off. Thank you.
And
Chris,
Sylvia, why was Bird and Blend the winner for you?
well, storytelling, I think, is just so powerful. And I loved hearing about where you started from and where you are today. It's an incredibly competitive market. And what you've done to date is just nothing short of extraordinary. So wishing you all the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's very exciting.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. This was, like I said, an amazing episode, amazing finalists. Thanks to our judges. And I'm sure Michelle will be seeking out a Bird and Blend while she's visiting London and doing some taste testing for all of us back home in Canada.
I know. I actually can't wait to try all 3 products. But now I'm here, I have to come to one of your stores.
Absolutely. Always welcome. We'll send you some tea in the post as well.
Awesome.
Amazing.
Thanks, everyone.